Hi everyone, let's paint a torus in this video. It will be a very silent, simple video, little tutorial on how you can make a torus and simply slowing down our nerves. So yeah, this is a little sketchbook flip, some of the secret geometry patterns that I have made or they're in progress. It's quite a while since I shot this video, so some of these artworks are really completed since the time when I recorded this footage. Most of the works are still in progress. I like to make geometric patterns when I'm in a certain flow and then color it. Usually, it's not like a one time setting thing, it's like I sketch sometimes and then when I feel, then I paint. So, yes, this is the torus that we will be going to make and complete. So here we move to our first segment, which is sketching the geometric pattern. Here are the tools that you would need. So firstly you will need a compass, a pencil and a scale. So for right now I have just taken a radius less than half of the page and then made a circle, then made the first arc, then from this arc another arc, and then half joined this petal. And from here I will be moving forwards to making a torus. Then from the center of that circle we made initially and that intersection of the petal, we'll just make one line getting the center point. Now taking the same distance from there, we will just make an our arc, and now with the same radius we'll just make one more mini petal inside this petal. Similarly repeat it on the other side and make another petal. Now the process that we did, uh, we can again repeat it, like from their intersection to the center. We can mark those points. See these two centers? We have to just make a line and find that intersection on the first circle that we made. It's a totally different vibe constructing the base diagram using geometric items and then calming down the mind using colors. Now from this point, the same process can be repeated again and again to get more smaller and smaller petals as you wish. Now at this point you can repeat the same pattern and make even more smaller petals depending on how much smaller size you want for the tourist, but I think this is very perfect for me as I'll also paint it with the watercolors. So I'll just keep it, and now all I have to do is start making circles from these points, and as we make circles more point will appear and the majestic torus will appear. So let's do it. I shot a time lapse video of formation of torus. Believe me, it looks more beautiful when you are actually doing it in that slow speed. Later, you can take out the excess charcoal using a kneaded eraser to take out the graphite, and for this inner circle that you made, you can use a hard eraser to rub out those edges. And also, if you want at this point, before rubbing this inner circle, if you don't want to color it, you can insert a ball pen or a gel pen, whatever gets into a compass, and then you can make an ink illustration of the tourist. But I'll suggest, if you're going to do a watercolor, avoid using the ink first, otherwise when you'll do the watercolor it will smudge out, and the tourist will get that dark color effect. If you wish to get it, it's good. Otherwise, don't ink it first. If you wish, maybe you can ink it later when you're done with the colors. So here I am wrapping that in a circle. Make sure you don't erase the actual lines. So now it's time to actually get into coloring, and believe me, I can't say it for you, but at least for me, coloring really takes me into the flow much faster than any other sketching, and especially with these geometric patterns, it's a different vibe. For now, I'm using this 24 shade watercolors by Doms. You can use basically any paints that are available to you and mix and match the shades. I'm using a zero number brush, and also I showed you like a four number brush, but I only use like a zero number brush. Depending on the size of the tourist, choose a brush accordingly and one will work. Now here I'm wetting the paints, and for this tourist I basically selected a warm colors. It was basically the mood that time. This video is actually shot like, I would say, few weeks before I'm doing the voiceover. But in this video I would just love to communicate that feeling which I have started experiencing while I paint. And one more honest confession, this is not exactly how I paint every time. Like, here my sketchbook is there on the desk and there is a camera, so I am a bit camera conscious, so it was really not that easy for me to get into the flow while coloring. But I think as I colored like two layers, still I entered the flow state while coloring it. And it's absolutely at that moment, when I was doing this, and I also made few other like sacred geometry mandalas. So it was basically my evening routine. I had sketched certain geometric patterns, and whenever I used to get time, I would fill one layer at a time. But there was one thing, I would just complete the whole layer once, because it just gave me a sense of completion. And with the colors, I'm just choosing intuitively, mostly like similar color with the same vibe. And also, I do not really complete the whole mandala in one go. As I said, I take it slow by slow. And this is a time lapse video, but here is a shot of me of real time planning. And see, I like to paint the boundaries first, and then love to fill the middle part, because I think it allows me both of that freedom, where my mandala, it doesn't fall apart because I make the boundaries first, otherwise color might spill into some other petal. And then the timing in between, where I have to color it, it's like the time when I actually think. So it's also a way for me to kind of slow down my thoughts. I absolutely love writing diaries, but something I have figured out is that when I have like a lot of thoughts which I am not feeling like writing in my diary, I usually love to paint a mandala. And with diaries, I have a tendency that I often write diaries when I'm sad. So when I'm absolutely happy, I love to paint. So I think this is also a way to capture all those happy emotions. And definitely, the colors which you choose to paint the sacred geometry with kind of influences the way how you feel while painting it. Like, these warm colors makes you feel more happy and comfortable. Like, for me at least, that's how I feel. And yeah, if this video somehow finds you with the algorithm, maybe we can connect on Instagram. Like, if you have similar interests in art, if I introduce myself, well, I'm just like a art hobbyist. I love exploring different art forms. Especially recently, my interest has really gotten into sacred geometry, folk arts of India. Other hobbies that I have is I really love paper crafting, um, different things. It just kind of varies. And this year specifically, in 2026, I intend to learn some more hobbies and see if I can like cope up with the video making, because I feel video making is a skill in kind of itself, and it's a different thing other than painting. So but I definitely intend to make more videos, because it's very fun to watch them for oneself as well. And I think there's something beautiful about the process of painting. And even watching other artists, this is one thing which I absolutely love, is watching other artists paint and painting time lapses. So that thing kind of inspires me, and this way I can also communicate like my thoughts that I have behind the painting, because I think the thought and the feeling and emotion behind the painting is as equally important than the piece of art and painting itself, if not more. I think it's not more, they're both like the equals and complementaries. So yeah, that's how I like to paint. And yeah, this is me completing the last layer of layering. As I said, later I just layered few colors. I For the last layer I layered a purple color, and on top of it I covered it with like the brown color. So thank you so much for watching, and here is the final painting. Let's meet in another video.